An update on a breaking news story this morning. The High Court in Pietermaritzburg has dismissed a member of the AmaZulu royal family's interdict to prevent King MisuZulu KaZwelithini from addressing the commemoration of the Battle of iSandlwana. The member approached the court through his lawyer. This after arguing that King MisuZulu was not supposed to address any royal event since there is a dispute. The iconic event in the AmaZulu calendar is being held today at Nquthu in KwaZulu-Natal. Let's get the very latest and bring in SABC news reporter Bongani Gema. He's live for us there. Bongani, very good morning to you once again. Reaction to the dismissal of this application in court?
Well, Blaine, good morning to you again and good morning to our SABC viewers, Blaine. Unfortunately, Blaine, we had a guest here, the praise singer of the King, Ubabare Uzecheni Mdleche, who was supposed to have an interview with us. But unfortunately, because the event is starting now, he's been called to accompany the King and the AmaZulu who are now coming out of the Maquis, Blaine. But we wanted to show you the iconic mountain that is called iSandlwana. This is the mountain that my colleague Nquthu Faso is showing you. It was called iSandlwana. Oba Umdleche was telling me offline this was called iSandlwana because it looks like a house. So that's where the name came from. I was saying iSandlwana and then he corrected me, Blaine. I'm going to ask Nquthu Faso just walk with me now, Blaine, to the AmaZulu. As I can see from where I am, the King has just now left the Maquis, Blaine. So we'll try and walk towards them. But Blaine, to recap for our viewers, what has come out today was the dismissal of that application, as you heard in that interview from Prince Utulano Zulu, which was in Zulu. He was basically saying that they are happy with the dismissal of the application because it was putting the royal family in bad light, because that royal family is known to be dignified. So he says that the application was putting the royal family in bad light. What the application wanted was to interdict the address by King MisuZulu, who is expected now, as you know, that is now been dismissed, is expected now to address the gathering here. So they were saying that, well, he's not the king yet, because they're saying that there's still a dispute. So they did not want him to address this gathering. We also know that, well, we spoke with the mayor of Umzinyati, Blaine, who was telling us that, in fact, there were other people from national government who wanted to be part of today's commemoration, but Blaine, he says that they wanted to be part of this commemoration, but in the last minute they pulled out. Blaine is saying that he had no expected. Also, he had heard a request from the provincial government. Also, they wanted to be part of today's commemoration, but then they had pulled out on the last minute. But he was saying that as them, they are endorsing our King MisuZulu as the king. They are in full support of the King, Blaine, also saying that they had planned this commemoration, and also saying that government had come also in the last minutes to also be part of the planning, Blaine. So they're saying that, well, whether the court cases are continuing or not, they are not wavering in their support for King MisuZulu. I don't know if Nquthu can show you behind the fact we have AmaZulu who are making their way now where we are, because as you know, this event is about to start. You can also, yes, you can see them making their way to the gates inside this venue. We are expecting this venue to start now. We will see the spectacle that you mentioned earlier, the reenactment of the war. As you know, the war was between the British Empire and the Zulu Kingdom. Just a brief history. On January 22, 1879, after the British had invaded the Zulu Kingdom, this was one of the early wars that were fought that time. The Zulu warriors securing a decisive victory against a British force that was armed in modern rifles, whereas the Zulu warriors were armed in their traditional spears. So that is what is being commemorated here. As you can see, the people who are here, as Nquthu to just show you, the people who are here to be a part of the gathering is not just people of same race, but it's people of different races who have come to be part of today. It's not like the commemoration that we saw of the Battle of Blood River, where we had one commemoration on the other side of the river and the other on the other side, which was a very big issue because it was held on the day of reconciliation, but it didn't show true reconciliation. You remember as the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, was addressing that particular gathering, and he said it was worrying, and he had mentioned that they were going to approach the South African human rights regarding that issue. So today it's a different kind of story playing.
According to my memory, Blood River took place in 1838. A few years later, this is when we had this battle, iSandlwana, in 1879. Bongani, just before I let you go, just remind the viewers, we heard from Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi a little earlier on, reacting to the outcome of the court application. Remind the viewers what he had to say.
Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, as you know, he's the AmaZulu Prime Minister. We caught him as he was just alighting from his vehicle, also saying that he was happy with the decision of the High Court, saying that, well, this application was stillborn because whether they like it or not, saying that the king is the rightful king, and saying that the different challenges that they can bring are all going to be just defeated because he is the rightful heir to the throne, but also voicing his disappointment, saying that, as I mentioned earlier, the Zulu royal household is known to be dignified, saying that these are things that could have been negotiated, but the fact that these things have reached the courts is putting the dignity of the royal household in bad light, by saying that he's happy with the decision of the courts, and saying that the other application does not, that it's not just this application, saying that they're also going to face the same fate.
All right, Bongani Gema, thank you very much indeed. Get in a position. We'll come back to you a short while to get some visuals of that reenactment, as well as hear what King MisuZulu has to say. We also will take you to Nkandla in a short while. We understand that the Abatembu King